Well, Ivory Coast, they're definitely a dangerous player for the future.
You know what? Danger does roll off the tongue, and what better way to bring in the next group than Danger? Group D. Group Danger. Danger. Look, it was an Oriental Express of a round in Group D.
Bloody meagering. StarCraft.
It was bloody mixed martial arts.
Don't be racist.
Action and mayhem.
Yeah. Well, it was Japan. They had 2 games to play to finish off the group. If they could squeeze out a win and a draw, that's all they needed to do. A win and a draw, they could be going through and knocking out South Korea.
Could they do it? Mr. Video Man.
Japan, Cameroon.
The only thing that annoys me is that AI, I think, has a higher intelligence level than my team. But what can you do? They might have a bit more skill, but we've got the spirit. That's all that matters. So I think we've got to give it a real shot. We'll just keep doing what we're doing, keep passing along, keep chugging along, and just see what we can do, basically.
Well, the nation of Japan had their eyes wide open in this must-win match. Early on, the tackles came in quick and furious, but it was a shock wonder goal.
What a goal!
It put a chaotic Scott Mitchell in absolute ecstasy. A strike that would make, well, even a Ugandan newborn baby spit out its mother's milk and all. From here on, it was shut up shop time for Japan, switching to the familiar 5-4-1 formation. This only invited pressure onto the Japanese defence, but Cameroon's firepower, well, it was as useless as a cat flap in an elephant's house. That early goal killed off any excitement in the game. Final score 1-0.
I'm stoked, mate. I'm just absolutely stoked. The boys, they've worked so hard for this. The whole team, the whole management, every single person that's put it in. And look, we got the results, and that's all that matters. It's great. But for now, me and the boys just going to get back in the change rooms. I've hired a few prozzies out, a few strippers. They've brought some fruit and vegetables along, so we'll just see what happens. It should be a great time for all.
Japan, South Korea.
I do have faith in our guys. We're playing to win, unlike the Australians when they versed Germany, but what can you do? But I think we've got a great shot.
Well, my aim is to get first place and I only need a point, so I'm going to be conservative and get that point. Going to still defend a little bit, but I'm going to be a bit more attacking than I was in the game against La France. I'm not prepared for an interview today and nothing more, thank you.
The Great Wall of China, more like the Great Wall of Japan. A slightly tanned Scott Mitchell setting out his team with a defensive mindset. Where South Korea went forward, Japan had up to 8 players behind the ball, and on a day when South Korea needed to net their opportunities, well, they seemingly could not make them count. Scott Mitchell looking content, limiting Korea to hopeful 50-metre penalties. And how long could Japan hold out for? Well, not long enough. Goal! Park Chu-young with a grade 3 half-volley judo chop. The ball gliding into the back of the net, and after tripping over himself, he recovered and played Cowboys and Indians with the adoring crowd. South Korea pushed further to extend their lead, but an on-form Hashimoto kept Japan in the game. A wild brash tackle showed signs of the Japanese buckling to the pressure, and really, they didn't do enough, being eliminated from the tournament, and for South Korea, the fun has just begun.
Basically, I'm just hoping that a couple of the other teams' planes crash on the way to the next venue, and hopefully, you know, we get the wild card, and you know, just see what happens from there. But yes, disappointing, but at the same time, at the end of the day, if I knew I was going to lose 1-0, I'd take that any day.
Biggest concern is the lack of goals my team's scoring, but I'm sure we can rectify that.
Dangerous it was. Dangerous for Japan. I can't say I approve of his 10-man defence. It was pretty negative play. I don't know how he thought he was going to score, but he gave it a shot.
Well, look, I know that there's a lot of nature people out there looking to stop what Japanese people do with making their tuna. What I'm getting at is that I think the Japanese players are going to go home with no honour whatsoever. They should dice those bloody players up, put them in those tuna cans, and ship them off back to bloody Tokyo, because they don't bloody belong in this World Cup if they're not going to put it. A 10-man bloody defence is a bloody outrage.
It is outrageous. We had a few scuffles backstage, and well, we both agree now. Definitely not the way to play the game. Let's look at the group table. Yeah, let's do that. South Korea coming out on top with 3 wins from 3. Not as convincing as some of the other teams, but that huge shock win against France is paying dividends now. They've probably got an easy team in the second round.
Yeah, look, they have come out on top, and they've done it in typical fashion. Manager Harry Livings, it's not the first time he's come out on top of someone. In this case, it was France and Japan and Cameroon. But look, very excited to see them in the latter stages.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Harry Livings on top of Orlando. I've seen him in that position quite a few times, but he's a very tactical manager, and people will take note that him coming out on top will mean he's got the tactical nous to go far in the competition.
Tactical nous.
Group fantabulous.
Yeah, it is in Word. Feel free to use it in your next game of Scrabble.
Triple word score. One game played this week. Portugal taking on Spain. Portugal finishing up their third game of the group. They won their first two games 6-0 against two human opponents. They've got to be destroying the AI, don't they?
Well, they're coming up against us at the Spanish Resistance. Did they do the job? There's only one person who knows this.
Mr. Video Man?
He's up there. Video Man.
Portugal, Espanol.
Look, the only thing the Portuguese are worried about is World Cup trophy. And if the best they come by, we'll take them with all our might. But look, we're here for the World Cup, and we'll leave with nothing less. Yeah, Mr. Aya, have a good game. See you after the game for some red wine. And look, full credit to you for turning up, but it's time to go home.
Well, Portuguese national coach inviting AI to a glass of red wine after the game, but first the talking had to be done on the pitch, and Spain coming forward, missing this free kick opportunity. Would it prove to be costly? Well, in the very next attack, Portugal took the lead as they picked up where they left off in their previous games, scoring for fun. 2-0 inside 25 minutes, and well, the only place this game was going was another win for Portugal, because after just under 40 minutes, it was 3. Raul Maior is there getting the goal. Portugal would think that they could have got a lot more on the score sheet, missing a few key opportunities, but the result itself, it was never in doubt. Deco showing his form here as Portugal stepped up the pressure on the Spanish defence. They're looking really promising in this tournament, but the question is, can they make it count against a stronger opposition? Portugal, they're missing a few late opportunities, but the scoreline doesn't lie. 6-0.
Look, very happy with the 3 points. But look, a lot of work for the Portuguese boys to get done on the training pitch. Would have liked a few more goals. I said before the game I am going for the World Cup, but the Golden Boot, well, not advantage exactly. But look, a lot more shooting practice I think this week.
Well, that manager John van der Cruz is quite a spunk and quite consistent.
Well, yeah, another 6-0 result. He's probably a bit, unhappy that his players couldn't put away a few more. But look, he's finished on top of the group. He's going into the pots, the best way he probably could.
3 wins from 3. I can understand his disappointment with the game, but his overall performance is pretty fantabulous, if you ask me.
That one isn't a word. You can't use that one in your Scrabble games.
Oh, okay.
But what you can do is look at these tables.
Well, one game to play left. Serbia taking on Algeria. The winner of that will be going through the knockout, so a huge bounty on the head of that game. Portugal winning 3 from 3. They're through. They're safe. They've definitely got the top spot. So they'll be sitting pretty when we go to the live draw at the end of tonight.